Being the Lord Mayor of Nottingham, to me, was just the icing on the cake, because I had been involved in various sections of the local authority, which I was the chair of the Employment and Economic Development Committee for about 4 years. I was vice chair of that for about 5 years. And I also was the City Council representative on Nottingham Regeneration Limited, which developed from the Lace Market Development Company. Right, so I was able to work very closely with the private sector in the regeneration and the educational institutions in the regeneration in Nottingham. And this stems from the demise of the coal industry under the previous government. Well, when I say previous, under the previous Storey government. And we had to look at, within the city, look at retraining people, redirecting them into different sources of employment. Also look at inward investment, you know what I mean, getting new investors into the city, and also ensuring that, well, then we had a system in place where the quality of the workforce that is being needed by those investors, there were training systems in place so that, well, then there was no automatic employment for them within these institutions, but, well, then they could gather some skills to be able to apply for jobs. A prime example was Capital One. When Capital One decided to set up their European arm of financial institution, they looked at France, they looked at Republic of Ireland, they looked at various other places in Europe, and they looked at the UK. And what Nottingham offered in the UK was what they went for. What I did, because I looked at when I first came to England in 1957, and not knowing anybody, and how important it was to meet friends. And when the students who, most of them come over to do the masters, and some of them go on to doing their PhD within the university. So I think it was in 2004 when I had my first encounter here with students from Jamaica, and when I was Lord Mayor, and there was Professor Humphreys, who was then the professor in charge of the overseas students, and I introduced a system whereby I linked up with linked the civic office with the university to get to know these students as soon as they come in, and then put in place with organizations within the community so that, well, then they could be integrated into the community, and also use some of those students as role models within the education system. So it's, you know, it was a two-way exercise, because most of the children from black parents within the education system was more or less identified as tearaways, and it's to, you know, try and let them realize that, well, then, you know, I mean, crime isn't a way out of poverty. You know, I mean, you want to realize that, well, then there are people within the Afro-Caribbean community who have got ambition to be, you know, prospective citizens, and, you know, give them an opportunity to use these students as role models. Going back to Jamaica, it's not just going back to Jamaica. I've gone back to the district where I was born. And what I'm trying to do is to see if I can make a difference to the life of some of the children and unemployed young people within the district. Whilst I was here, one of my charity was Greenland Education Center, which housed a basic school, and the rest of the premises, there was a hurricane about 6 years ago which destroyed the primary school, and I think it was year 1 to 3 pupils within the primary school was housed in that building. Now they came out of there in January, and I've looked at I'm looking at developing a community training center within the premises. I have done some homework on the National Training Agency and looked at what the government, the directive that the government, present government, is giving to the training agency or training. And what I'm negotiating with them is that, well then, is to look at, instead of young people traveling, because there's only one training agency in the entire parish. And what I'm looking at, instead of young people traveling, because they'll have to travel about 15, 18 miles, some of them will have to catch 3 taxi or buses, minibus to get there. So instead of young people having to go to the training agencies, to bring the training agency to them. And in order for the NTA to deliver the training in these premises, it's got to be made purposeful. And it's got to reach the standard of the NTA, okay? So what I'm looking at now is a friend of mine who is a consultant has actually submitted an application to the English Lottery Board for some capital to make those premises purposeful. And I'm also looking at some fundraising. One of the things that why I've got to go back to Jamaica at such short notice is that I'm arranging fundraising fund day. The fund is to go towards the refurbishment of this building, and the fund is to celebrate Jamaica's 50th anniversary, and it's on the 4th of August, and the proceeds from this fundraising day, as I've said, will go towards now the fund day is, you know, it's looking at having some bouncy castle for the children. We're looking at having a food fest where people can buy the tickets from different outlets and just come on the day and collect the food. We're looking at having some entertainment on the day, some domino knockout competition, and hopefully to wind it up in the evening with some cultural activities for the fundraising for that. Now, whilst I'm here, having some discussions with different areas of private sector funding to see if I can get any support from the private sector charitable arms to go into this project. But that's my baby at the moment.